Hi friends, welcome to IAS and College Connect YouTube channel. In these videos, we are going to discuss about looping statement. In previous videos, we discussed about conditional statement in Java. Let's see what is the looping statement first. The looping statement is going to be execute block of code repeatedly until the given condition is failed. For example, if this is the block of code, okay, you want to execute this block of code n number of times, okay, but you are going to keep some conditions until the given condition is failed. The block of code is going to be keep on executing. Okay, so here we are going to fix some conditions. If this condition is match, then this block of code is going to be executed n number of times. If the condition is going to be failed means, so then this block of code is not going to be executed. The code which is outside of this particular block of code is going to be get executed. So this is all about what is looping statement. So here we are having the three different types of looping statement. One is for loop, another one is while loop, the another one is do while. Let's see how the for loop is working. The for loop is going to be work based upon this three condition. First, it is going to be check the first it is going to initialize the values. Once the values initialization is done, then it is going to check the condition. If the condition is true, then it is going to execute the block of code. Here, after executing this code, then it is proceed to the increment or decrement operation. After performing the increment or decrement operations, then again it is going to check the condition. If the condition again true, it's going to execute the block of code. Then if it is failed, it is going to be execute the block of code which is exist after this for loop. Here you see the for loop is going to be start from here and end from here. So that if the condition is failed, so it is going to be execute the block of code which is outside this flower bracket. So hope you understand what is a for loop, how the execution flow of the for loop. Now we are moving to the next conditions, while loop. What the while loop is going to do? While loop, this is the syntax of the while loop, while conditions. So what it is going to do? Okay, so it's going to first check the conditions. If the given condition is true, then it is going to be execute the code which is there inside the while loop. Once the code is going to be get executed, again it's going to check for the conditions. If the condition is true again, then what it is going to do? It is going to get inside and execute the code which is inside the while loop. Again it is going to check the conditions. Here, until the given condition is failed, the block code which is inside the while loop is going to be keep on executing. Once the given condition is failed, it is going to be exit from the loop conditions, and it is going to execute the code which is outside of the while loop. Hope you understand what is a for loop and while loop. But you may have the doubt on why we are, even though both loop conditions having the same features, but what is the difference in this? So when to use for loop, when to use the while loop. So for loop, when you know the exact length of the code, exact length of the data which is having, okay, so then you go for the for loop. Okay, if you know the length of the data or length of the whatever the data you are accessing, if you know the length, okay, so then you go for the for loop. When to use a while loop? When you are trying to access the data but you don't know the length of the data, at the time you go with the while loop. For this particular scenario, when you don't know the length of the data means when you're trying to access the database or JSON. We are going to see what is JSON, what is a database when we are going to study JDBC concepts. So, if you know the length, then go for the for loop. If you don't know the length, then you go for the while loop. So, hope you understand what is a for loop, what is while loop, when to use for loop, when to use the while loop. Then we are proceed to the next for looping conditions. The next looping conditions here we are having is do while. So, what the do while is going to do is first directly without checking the conditions is going to execute the block of code. Once the block of code is going to be get executed, then only it's going to check the conditions. If the condition is true over here, again what will be going to do? Again it's going to execute the block of code. So here, so again after executing this code, again it is going to check the condition. If the condition is true If the condition is true on the second time, again it is going to be execute the code which is inside. The difference between while and do while is in do while the block of code execute at least once. At least once the block of code which is inside the do while is going to be get executed. And this is the syntax of the do while. Do flower bracket and while, then we are having the conditions with end with semicolon. Hope you understand different types of looping statements. So what is the syntax of it? Now we are proceeding to the implementation part. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create one simple package. The package name, here I'm going to give it as looping statement. Under this, I'm just going to create one for loop, simple for loop program. Okay, so I'm just going to give the name itself for loop. Now you see what I'm going to do. Now I'm just going to, under the main method, I'm just going to create one for loop. What this for loop is going to do, it is going to print the multiplications table. So for that, I'm just going to create two variables. One is sorry. Another one is multiplication. Multiplication table. Which table we want to print. So we want to get the input from the user, right? Okay. So if the user is going to give the limit as a 10 and then multiplication table as a 6 values, then I'm going to print the sixth multiplication table until the 10. Okay. So I'm just going to read the input from the user, so that I'm just going to create a scanner classes. Now I'm going to import this scanner classes. So now I'm going to read the input from the user, so that I'm going to use sysout. Okay, so inside this, I'm just going to print the statement, enter the limit. So for that, we are having the variable limit, right? Okay, so I'm just going to store the values into it. So the scanner object is s dot next int. Okay, so because it is an integer, right? Okay, so then I want to ask the user to enter which multiplication table you want to print. For that, I'm just going to print the information, enter the multiplication table you want to print. Now we're having the variable which is multiplications is used to store the values. Here I'm just going to get the input from the user, so that I'm just going to use s dot next int. Now after I'm reading all those things, okay, so then I'm start printing the multiplication table. For that I'm going to use the for loop. So I is equal to 0. So this first is used for initialization, right? Okay, so I'm just going to initialize the values. I is equal to 1. Then I is greater than greater than or equal to limit. Okay, so that is a limit, the exact limit where we want to print, up to which number we want to print the multiplication table. Then I plus plus. Here, I'm just going to write the simple output system.out.println. Okay, so here, how the multiplication table will look like? The multiplication table will look like this, right? Okay, so 1 into 2 equal to 2, 2 into 2 equal to 4. Here you see, this is mean that limit. Okay, so up to which number we want to print. Okay, so here it is a multiplication table. Okay, so here these two are special character. Okay, so that we are going to give this under double quotes. Here we are going to perform the mathematical operations. Okay, so now I'm just going to use the numbers, that is I. Okay, so then that should be followed by special character, that is a star. Okay, so that I'm going to put star, and then in the double quotes I'm just going to put star, and then that should be followed by 2. Okay, so 2 is nothing but the multiplication. Then I'm just going to use the variable multiplications, and then after that we are having the special character equal to, right? Okay, so that I'm just going to post plus symbol and then double quotes equal to. Okay, so then I'm going to print the answer. Okay, so here I'm going to print the answer. Okay, for that I'm just going to use within this flower bracket, I'm going to um, perform the multiplication operation. I into multiplication table. Okay, so this is a variable, right? Okay, so now you see we done it. Now I'm going to run this program. Let's check we are getting the right output or not. Here it is asking the limit. I'm just going to give 20, and I'm going to give the multiplication table which I want to print is 6. Okay, so I'm just going to press enter. Now you see we got the complete multiplication table of 6 up to 20. So now we are going to see the complete working flow of this for loop. Now we are going to move to the whiteboard. Okay, now you see we are going to start the execution. So where the execution is going to start, the execution is going to be start from the main method. Execution is going to be start from the main method. Okay, so the execution is going to start from the main method. Here we are having the variable limit, and then another variable which we are having is multiplication table. So these are the two variables here we are having. Okay, so then we are having the scanner object, then something we given on the double quotes, right? Okay, so in case if you don't know the scanner classes topic, please refer my previous videos. In that playlist you will be find the scanner classes. Okay, so then we are having something we given on the double quote, so that whatever it is going to be given on the double quotes is going to be print as it is. So we are given enter the limit, we given on the double quotes, right? Okay, once the user is going to see this input, he is going to give the input. So that input is going to be captured by this statement s dot next in, and it is going to assign to which variable limit. Okay, so suppose I'm just going to give the limit is going to be 20. It is going to be captured by s dot next in, and it is going to be assigned to the limit. So the limit is having the values 20. Now after that we are given something on the double quotes. Okay, so which is enter the multiplication table you want to print. Enter the multiplications table, multiplications table you want to print. This statement is given on the user screen. Once the user is going to read this statement, he is going to give the values, right? That value will be going to be captured by s dot next in, and it is going to assign to which variable? Multiplication table. Okay, so here we are going to give the 6, right? Okay, so that is going to be assigned to the variable multiplication table. Once it done, then it is proceed to the for loop. Okay, so now you see I'm just going to move to the for loop statement. Let's see how the working flow of the for loop is going to be happen. First, it is going to be start the initialization. That is, I is going to be initialized to 1. I is going to be initialized to the 1. Then it is going to check the condition. Okay, so what is the condition? I which is less than or equal to limit. What is I value here we are having is 1. What is the limit values here we are having? Limit is 20, right? Okay, so it is telling that 1 which is less than 20. Is it true or false? It is true, right? Okay, so once the condition is true, what it is going to be happen? It is going to be execute the statement which is inside the for loop. Okay, what we written on the for loop? So we given that we given what we given I, right? Okay, so what is the variable values which is there in the I variable? Okay, so it is going to be what? 1. Okay, so something we given on the double quotes, it is going to be print as it is. Okay, so star, and then we given something which is not in the double quote, so that it is going to be check the values which is present on the variable, which is going to be 6, right? Okay, 6, and then we given something on the double quote, so that it is going to be print as it is, and then we given some variables inside this parenthesis, so that it is going to be perform some mathematical operation. That is, 1 I is going to be 1, multiplication table is what? It is going to be 6. Okay, 1 into 6, what it is going to be? 6. So that this statement is going to be printed on the user screen. Once the execution is done, what it is going to do, it is move to the next iteration. It is going to be increment the I value by 1. Okay, so now the I values is going to be incremented by 1. So what we are going to get, so we are going to get, once I values is going to be incremented by 1, it is going to be I values is what? It is true. Okay, I values is what? 2. Okay, so then it is again checking the condition. Okay, so now it is going to be check the condition. Okay, so what is I value here we are having? It is 2. 2 less than or equal to. What is the limit value here we are having? The limit value which we are having is 20, right? Okay, so it is 20. So the 20, it is asking that, it is telling that 2 which is going to be less than 20. Yes, it is true. Once it is true, so it is going to be get inside, it is going to be get inside. Okay, so now we are having the same statement. I values is what? The I value is, the I values is 2, right? Okay, so 2. Okay, so something given on the double quotes is going to be print as it is, and then it's going to check the values which is present on the variable multiplication table. It is 6, so that 2 into 6, it is going to be what? 12. Okay, so after printing this, again it is going to be check the increment the I value by 1. So this operation is keep on performing until the given condition is going to be what? Fail. When the given condition is going to be false, so when the I values is equal to 21. Okay, so then it is going to be exit from this until it is going to be print the values. So that only we get the values multiplication tables of the 6 from 1 to 20. Okay, 1 to 20. So we receive the values. When the I values is going to be 21, it is going to be exit from the for loop. Hope you understand the execution flow of this for loop. Okay, so now we are moving to the next concept, which is called as a while loop. So what the while loop is going to do? So while loop is going to keep on executing the statement until the given condition is false. So where we can going to use the while loop? So we are going to use the while loop when we don't know the exact limit, right? Okay, as of now, I'm just going to use a simple program. So here I'm just going to explain while loop. Okay, so here I'm just going to write the same for loop. What are the things which is that written on the for loop, I'm just going to copy and paste it over here. Okay, so here you see in this for loop we don't have the initialization. In case if you want the initialization, you need to write the initializations outside of the while loop. Okay, in case if you want to perform the increment operation, you need to write inside the while loop. Okay, so while loop will contains only the condition checking, only having the condition checking. This is how the while loop is going to be written. Okay, so in case uh, you know that you are going to access the data which you don't know the exact limit means, you can go with the while loop. Here you are going to write the condition based upon that. Okay, so now you see I'm just going to run this program. I did little changes. While loop doesn't have the initialization, only condition checking, so that I put the initialization outside of this while loop. So it doesn't have the incremental statement, so that, so we want to terminate the conditions, right? Okay, so then so for that I'm just going to use the increment operation. If you not use the increment operations, this statement is going to be keep on executing. Okay, so now I'll show you the difference. Here first I'll run this program. I'm just going to give the limit, which is going to be a 10. Okay, so here 10, I'm just going to give the values which is going to be multiplication table. I want is 20, 120. Okay, now what will be going to happen if I'm going to remove this I plus plus? If I'm going to remove the I plus plus, so this conditions is going to be keep on executing. Okay, so I'm just going to give 20 and then multiplication table which I require is 6. Okay, so now you see this conditions is keep on executing. Why? Because we don't have the incremental operation. Because of we don't have the incremental operations, this conditions, one which is less than or equal to 20 always true, so that the values of I is going to be 1, multiplication table is going to be 6. Okay, so that it is going to be keep on executing. Then how should we get terminated means, so we need to put the incremental operation inside this. Okay, so when we are putting this incremental operation inside this, it's going to be get terminated. So here the same thing, I'm just going to give 20 and then the execution is the multiplication table is 26. Okay, so now you see it's get terminated. So here while loop, first check the condition. If the given condition is true, it get inside. So then whatever the statement which is written inside, it is going to be get incremented, get executed. Then it is going to be execute the state. It's going to execute the conditions. If the condition is true, again get inside. If the condition is false, so it's going to be execute the statement which is exit after this particular while loop. Got it? Clear? Okay. So now we are moving to this next one, that is a do while. In this do while, so what it is going to do, so here this do while is going to be execute the code. This do while is going to execute the code at least once, right? Here I'm going to write the main method. Under this main method, I'm just going to write the do while conditions. Okay, do. Okay, so sys out, I'm just checking. So welcome to Java world. So now I'm going to write the condition while I, which is going to be greater than or equal to 5. So here I'm going to initialize the I values before. Okay, so in I is equal to what? I is equal to 1. Okay, so same as I'm going to increment the statement inside this do while. So now what it is going to do? So it is going to first initialize the values, then it is get inside this particular do while. This statement is executed at least once, then it is going to be perform the incremental operation. Again it's going to check the condition. If the given condition is true, what it will going to do, it is going to be get inside. The execution flow of this particular code will be like this. Here what it is going to be happen, the execution is going to be start from the main method. So the I values is going to be incremented by I values is going to be initialized to 1. Then it is going to check the conditions with sorry, without checking the conditions is going to execute this block of code at least once. Okay, so what will be going to do, first it is going to be print welcome to Java world, welcome to Java world. Okay, once this block is going to be get executed, then the I values is going to be incremented by 1. Okay, so the I value previously 1, now it is going to be get incremented by 1, so that it is true. So 2, so that now it is going to be check the condition 2 is less than or equal to 5. Is it true or false? Yes, it is true, right? Okay, so that again it is going to be execute this block of. Now again it is going to be print welcome to Java world. Welcome to Java world. Again it is going to be increment the I value by 1. Okay, so that this conditions will be go until the I is going to be 5. So that until I is going to be 5, this block welcome to Java world is going to be print 5 times. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5, 5 times it's going to be print. When the I values is going to be 6, okay, this condition is not satisfied. Okay, so now you see, if the I values is 6, 6 less than or equal to 5, this condition is not true. So that what it is going to do, it is not going to proceed further. So it is not going to be proceed further. Why? Because the I is, that is 6 is greater than 5. So that what it is going to do, it is going to be execute the statement which is written after this while do while statement. Hope you understand the looping statement which is there in the Java programming languages. In the next videos we are going to discuss about break and continue. What is break, what is a continue, we are going to see in details. If you like this video, please share this video with your friends. Please don't forget to click the subscribe and bell button. Thank you.